I'm alive. Oh my god. I don't know, like, February was such a bad month because I got this funky eye infection, and then, like, I was good, and I was, like, working, and I was fine, and then all of a sudden, I got bronchitis, and I had to go to the hospital, and then they thought I was going into pneumonia, and I was like, I'm dying. I am going to go to the other side. And if that ever happens, I promise all of you, I will come and help you get epic evidence. Just kidding. I'm not dying. I'm not dead. No, but for real, I was super sick. And like, you can kind of still hear it. It's like, it's up in this area, you know, but been on antibiotic, and thank God I'm doing better. But I just was not I wasn't in a good spot to be filming. So now that we have moved past that, and that is behind us, let's chat. I love hearing back from you guys. Like, it seriously makes my day. I had like so many awesome comments, and I had like some confrontations, which is totally cool. And then I had like some really awesome emails. So everybody that reached out to me, like, you guys are awesome. You give me like such good feedback and stuff to bring up, you know, for my next video. So I love it. In fact, I think I'm actually gonna check. I have like kind of a list in front of me that I'm gonna go over. And I'm probably going to divide it into 2 videos because I don't want it to be like a ranty video going on and on. So part 1 now, part 2 be in a couple days. Give me some time to edit. First of all, I upset some people. I made some people sad because, you know, honestly, a lot of people think that because it's Nick and Katrina, you know, everybody knows I'm not just a Ghost Adventures fan, probably most epically Ghost Adventures fan, but I just love the community in general. And I think everybody assumed that because I love Ghost Adventures so much that I was just automatically supposed to fall in love with Nick's show. And I got kind of like some slack on it for a minute, and I think then when people saw the next episode come out, they kind of realized that they were in agreement with me. Let's state that I never once said that I hated the show. I never said that, you know, I wanted my followers or fans to not watch it and it was worth their time, and I never encouraged anyone not to watch it. If there are some like problems I'm gonna see, and not only like from production side, but from like the paranormal investigator side, I'm gonna like say it. I'm gonna say what I think about it. And so at first I think people were really like, holy cow, like she's just wanting to like, you know, talk crap and like cause a fight, and like, and then I had some people come at me that were like, you know, Krystal, you're a producer, so of course you see, you know, certain sides of it that like could be bad potentially, and you know, you're not being fair. You're not looking at it from you're only looking at it from a production standpoint. And I'm like, wait a minute. The only thing that I do when I see this, and when I'm watching new paranormal shows, is I am judging it from a paranormal investigator standpoint. Remember, I have been to so many places, I have been to more places as a paranormal investigator than I have been in production. So keep that in mind. When I go into like a haunted location, I'm first seeing it as an investigator, not as a producer. So I got like some people thrown in my face that like, because I'm a producer, like I think I know everything. Oh, nay. Oh, nay. I never said that. I never said that I am almighty producer and I know everything. Never. But if I see things that are wrong, and I see things that as an investigator, I would call out, which I would expect all of you, if you're a good investigator, to also call out, then I'm going to say, yeah, there's a problem with this. And you can love me or hate me for it, you know? Like, honestly, I think that for some people, they were upset because I was speaking the truth. They didn't really want to hear the truth. And I think for other people, I said what they didn't want to say. So it's cool. Like, I was not bashing Nick and Katrina. I love them. I support them. I support everyone in the paranormal community. However, if I see something that's a red flag, like especially like during an investigation, I'm going to say it. And I know that this shadow like was an issue and people got upset about it because like I called them out on it. I still have to stick by my guns and say that something, you know, I understand she heard something. It very well could have been legitimate. It very well could have been an actual, you know, shadow or entity walking by in the hallway. But obviously they missed it in post-production, which is a big boo-boo for post-production. And unfortunately, I mean, I can guarantee you right now that Nick and Katrina are not sitting in post-production. Therefore, they don't have control over that. So, but whoever messed up in post-production made Nick and Katrina look bad. Whether it was real or not, that's not really the fight we're having. It was a production issue. So I feel bad for them. It sucks that it happened. I did watch the other episode finally tonight. I was like super behind DVRing it because I didn't want to watch it while I was sick because I didn't feel well, I didn't want to give you guys like a wrong critique of it or whatever. And I watched it tonight, and I'm going to be honest, I didn't see anything like major like last time, but this device that Nick is using, I don't really, I concept what it is, but I'm really concerned with like the legitimacy behind it. And another thing, like they did do some repeats on it finally with this last episode, but they're not having like an audio tech go in and like clean up the EVP to be able to hear it. There are ways to remove like the static from an actual audio clip, and that's also in post-production, and they're not doing that, so you can't hear it clearly. Like I did hear some things come through, but another issue that I'm going to restate is I don't know what this item is that they're using, this little like the box thing. It's kind of like an old school SP11 or SP7. I just think that whoever has invented this needs to make it accessible to the paranormal community so that we can use it and we can say, yes, there is legitimacy behind this. I have used it and it's legit. From what I'm hearing from Nick is that it was especially invented for Nick. And so I don't know if, when, or how we could even get our hands on it as a paranormal community, but I can't help that I'm just questioning the legitimacy behind it. And the reason that is because I am very skeptical. I absolutely believe that there is stuff on the other side. Like I've encountered it many times, but that doesn't mean I'm not a skeptic. I go in and I'm very skeptical of places because I've gone to locations, very few, but where things haven't turned out to be haunted and stuff. Another thing that I thought was really strange about this last episode too is that at the end, Katrina went through and smudged the location, and I didn't, I guess that shocked me in a way because in all of the locations that I've done where I've investigated, whether it's like an inn or it's like a haunted bed and breakfast or a haunted hotel, I have always offered to smudge or, do some sort of like a cleansing thing to help the owners, because most of the time they've been afraid of it, or, their patrons or customers are afraid of whatever's there. And not once have I ever been allowed to like smudge or clear. So that was kind of a little bit of a red flag for me. I don't know, like, did they not ask the owner? Did they ask the owner? If they did ask the owner for permission, why wasn't that on film? So I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm just seeing some kind of holes that they're having in their stories. I think that it's great he's using the brain tool, whatever it is that they're using for like to take your like your sonogram or whatever it is while you're sleeping. I think that's really cool to interpret that into the investigation. Because they're sleeping there, and maybe it can, it's like collecting data. It's like any part of science. But he had said that he had been asleep for about an hour, or actually he said an hour to be specific. And he said he got deep sleep. And unfortunately, like if you've taken any college classes, a basic Psych 101 class, and the Psych 101 class, you learn that your deep sleep or REM sleep, the first cycle doesn't come for like 70 to 90 minutes into sleep. So if he was only asleep for an hour, I don't think he would have been able to hit REM sleep yet, because usually it's more in like the 90-minute side versus the 70-minute side. And for him to like say, no, I got an hour of sleep, he said an hour. So I don't know if that was just a grammatical error on his part, but that like kind of once again messed with my legitimacy of like understanding if this, whatever this scientific research they're doing is legitimate. I don't really know if I'm going to watch another episode. I said that last week. I had a really hard time getting through this episode. I did DVR it and I watched it and paused it and got up and paused it and like came back, and I really couldn't get into it. I did see ratings for Destination America for Nick, and they said it's the #1 paranormal show on Destination America. So that's great for Nick. Like I really hope that if he does get a second season, maybe he can come back a little bit stronger. I have no ill will towards him. I am not hoping that he fails. So No more hate mail, guys, because you've got it all screwed up. I guess the biggest thing from last video that I posted was, hopefully you guys know me by now, that I'm not afraid to speak my mind. If I did mess up and, you know, critique something incorrectly, I am definitely woman enough to be like, I messed up, guys, and this is what happened. But there were some things that I stood by, and I had some people fighting me on it, and I had some people kind of like condescending me, kind of throwing in my face that I just thought I was almighty. And I don't know, like, I guess you just don't know me very well, because I'm not that kind of person. I really take the paranormal field, like, I have dedicated so much time and years of my life and money and filming time and filming equipment into this industry that I never ever, you know, was trying to throw that I was better, you know, than anyone in their face. And I'm not that kind of person. So whoever, you know, was out there saying those comments, like, you don't know me very well. I take this field so serious, and like I'm so proud of like the work I've done. I'm proud the work of the community, you know, has come through together to create, you know, proving existence. In fact, going into that, I wanted to tell you guys, like, the reason I take it so serious, like, I would like eventually to see the paranormal become like an actual legitimate science, like paleontology or physics. Like, I think that we're on the verge of like possibly cracking that open where it could be seriously studied. So I take this so serious on such a scientific level. It doesn't really have anything to do with me being a producer or me being in film and production. My first passion comes from paranormal. And you know, I had like my very first experience when I was 15. My grandmother passed away, and she died, and I was the closest person to her in my family. And the night that she passed away, she came into my bedroom, and I had been crying, you know, all day because we had to take her off of life support and stuff. She had a stroke and everything. And I don't think she really wanted to go. I think that she, it happened. I don't think she really planned on going at that time. But she came into my room, and I was in that half asleep, half awake stage where you're like drifting off. And I could hear her talking to me. And I started physically responding with my voice. And then all of a sudden I realized I wasn't dreaming. I realized like I was hearing with my ears, and I was vocally speaking to her. So that was my very first interaction with, you know, the paranormal or with the dead, was my grandmother, whom I respected very, very much. And I had other contact with her over the years, but my point is like I take this so serious because I love it so much. And I do understand that not everything's going to be legitimate out there. I do understand that you're going to run into production companies that are running the show and they're not taking the actual industry seriously, which is partly where I come in, like, advocating towards it, because I really think that it should be a science. I think someday it really should be a science. I hope sooner rather than later it becomes a science. Okay, let's stop this video here and let's do part 2. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you give me a thumbs up. Give me happy comments. Please don't tell me I wear too much makeup, because I'm a cosmetologist and I'm not going to stop just because you ask me. So, alright, talk to you guys soon. Next video.